Clinical Training Institute can help you take the first step towards your successful medical career. And what are students and employers saying about CTI?
What I like about CTI is that it's a lot smaller classes, so you get a little bit more one-on-one with the teachers, and he doesn't mind if you interrupt. So if you have a question, you could ask as many questions as you like.
Also, I like how when you're in the lab, he's always constantly step by step. It's not just like, okay, here's the steps, do it. No, he goes step by step, and I'm a very visual learner, so learning that way for me and having him show us that way is awesome.
CTI prepares the students extensively before they are allowed to report to their externship site. My role is, as an externship coordinator, is to make sure that I am sending the best students.
I want to make sure that their test scores are above par prior to placing them. I also want to make sure that the training that they've gotten while they were in didactic course, I want to make sure that they've kind of almost morphed into this professional role that they are advancing to.
In order for our students to be eligible to go to externship, they must pass a final didactic exam. So they know all the organizations, all the HIPAA laws, confidentiality laws that must be known in order to be at an actual laboratory. They have to go through a final clinical evaluation where their hands-on skills are evaluated by a licensed phlebotomist like myself in order to be approved to go to an externship. Our students are also fully insured through our general and professional liability insurance, so there's no liability issue to our externship site partners, and they don't have to worry about any liability issue.
CTI utilizes a wide variety of locations, from doctor's offices to laboratories to major healthcare facilities, in which the workflow may vary depending on location.
I have worked with other schools in the past, but with the students of CTI, I feel that they're very knowledgeable and they're skilled. Of course, when they're here at their externship, we cannot stop to teach them actually while they're here. And with other facilities or other schools, I've had to actually stop to try to teach them, and we can't do that. But with the students from CTI, they come, they're ready, they're very knowledgeable.
Personally, I would compare CTI students to be such great students, and I can honestly say that the training that they provide is excellent. I personally, as an RN, took my phlebotomy testing during nursing school, and having attended the training myself at CTI, I can say that it is far superior to what I received even in nursing school.
I feel that I'm going to be very prepared with my externship coming up hopefully soon. I'm ready to go for it. I had all the hands-on training that I feel that I need, and I can't wait to take on this new career.
For enrollment and class schedule information, please call 888-335-0965 or visit our website at clinicaltraininginst.com. And remember, your new career starts here.
Go ahead.
I started the program at CTI because I was very interested in becoming a phlebotomist, and right here is the best place to be at. They teach you everything, they do hands-on with you right there and then. It's an amazing program, and I never regret it.
So, last thing I want to say is that you can do anything when you try. You can't do anything if you don't try. So try to give it a shot and do your best.
The reason I like CTI is the smaller classes. I felt like I was part of a team as opposed to part of a large program. Their program worked for me. It made me excel. You knew more of your classmates. You got a little more intimate with your classmates. So it felt like you were part of a family as opposed to part of a conglomerate. It worked for me because it was a shorter program, so my brain was able to keep working, and I didn't have to expand it over 10 to 12 weeks. It was a very short 4-week program.
I enjoyed attending CTI because it gave me the ability to excel in the professions that I chose to pursue with my life.
3.
What I liked about CTI was CTI's flexible class schedule allowed me to complete the course at a pace that was convenient and flexible for me in my life.
Hello, I am Miguel Valdominos. I am a student phlebotomist. Do I have permission to draw your blood today?
Yes.
Yes. Could I get your first and last name?
Anna Kelsey.
And date of birth?
5164.
Do you have any complications or anything? Passing?
No.
Fainting, nothing? Good. Do you have a preference of arms?
Whatever you want.
Whichever one.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one right here.
Okay.
Let's check what's that.
A phlebotomy technician is a key member of the medical laboratory team whose primary function is the collection of blood samples from patients by venipuncture or microtechniques. That is, phlebotomists draw blood for tests, processing, research, or analysis. Phlebotomists work mainly in hospitals, medical, and diagnostic laboratories, clinics, and doctor's offices. Phlebotomists typically enter the occupation with a post-secondary non-degree award from a phlebotomy program. Employers look for licensed phlebotomists who have earned professional certification. What makes Clinical Training Institute different? Affordable tuition and financing options are also available to qualifying students. With campuses in Bakersfield, Lancaster, Oxnard, Santa Maria, Woodland Hills, and our newest location in Visalia, CTI offers a phlebotomy technician program near you. CTI's flexible class schedules make it convenient for working students with day, evening, and weekend classes. Small class sizes afford more individual attention and better communication between the instructor and the student.
I've always been an interest in phlebotomy as a career. I've definitely been through hospitals and watched, the staff and everything. It's something that I've always had an interest in. I'd like to proceed with this career and see exactly where it goes. I've had a friend come through the exact same class. He let me know exactly what it was about, how the instructors were knowledgeable, how they train, the setting of the class and everything. Let me know it was a very great place to go, and just signed up for it.
California, CLSI, and we continue to always give realistic situations and scenarios by the experience of the instructors, as well as maintaining that standard that we keep very high.
The staff at CTI is excellent. They were involved from beginning to end. So from enrollment to me getting my license, they handled every aspect smoothly and efficiently.
Another reason why I chose CTI is the flexible schedule. I have 2 kids in school. I am able to attend classes and still pick them up after school and help them with their homework.
Well, I had just recently moved to Santa Maria, and CTI's Santa Maria campus was conveniently only minutes away from my home.
I get great satisfaction of seeing my ex-students come in and show me their nice big certificate from AMT that they've passed their state exam, as well as when they come back in and they show me that they've received their phlebotomy license from the state of California. I also get a great satisfaction of watching them come to me and tell me that they were employed at a local lab.
CTI is a Better Business Bureau accredited business with an A+ rating. Our students receive the highest level of customer service and personal assistance. If you are looking for a new career in the rapidly growing field of phlebotomy, contact CTI now by calling 888-335-0965 or visit a campus near you. You can also visit our website, that's www.clinicaltraininginst.com, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. Your new career starts here.
with, what's your name?
My name is Angie.
Hi, Angie. And why did you decide to come to CTI?
So, hi, I'm Angie. I'm from Colombia and I'm studying physical therapy in La Escuela Nacional del Deporte of Cali, Colombia. So, I want to have a license in phlebotomy, and I decided to go on the internet and start searching these websites, and I found CTI. And what I like about CTI is they have flexible schedules. I think like the price is really reasonable, and also they offer me to assistance so I can get my license. So I have family here in Oxnard, and I talked to them, and I came here to the state, and I called CTI, and then Terry, she's the secretary from here, she gave me a tour from the place, and stuff that I really like from here is like the classroom. It's really comfy and small. So what I like about that is we're not gonna be a lot of people, so that makes me feel like I'm gonna have one. Oh my gosh. So I feel like I'm gonna have one-on-one assistance with a teacher, and that's all I have. Other thing that I like about CTI is they give me an externship. Other schools that I have called, they require me to find my own externship. So in this moment, it's really difficult for me to find one.
Hi, thanks for coming to the presentation today. My name is Ginger Siska, and I work with Clinical Training Institute and Career Step. And today I want to talk with you about what a medical coding and billing profession would be like, and what the program would look like, and the platform, so you can get an idea of, is this a good opportunity for you? Is this something you want to do with the rest of your life to make money? So obviously you can read this. I don't usually go through and read a lot of this to people, but things that I would like to point out about the training is that we're really not a for credit program, but we're focused on helping you get into a career that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be high demand, so that you can go through and enjoy your life and have something to support your family and yourself. We have over 100,000 students that have come through Career Step. And of those 100,000 students, they're everywhere. It's the US, it's Canada, it's Australia, so you would be in good company being a Career Step student and graduate. We work with a number of different companies to help in terms of job placement. We are very well established in the industry of medical coding and billing to help students get there. Of students who finish our program, and it is a rigorous program, I'm going to be very upfront about that, so you really have to think about if you can dedicate the time and the energy to do an online program. 84% of those students have job placement and have careers that are very lucrative and successful. So with our academic partners at Career Step, you'll see that we have over 150 colleges and universities that will go through and partner with us, and it's growing all the time. We help colleges and universities expand their reach. We help them expand their programming through this partnership. A lot of what you can get from this is support in terms of student support. We have student advocates who will probably be reaching out to you in the first 10 weeks of the program for anything as simple as, hey, how do I log in to this program, to maybe you are sick for a week and they notice that you're not doing your work and they're like, hey, what happened? Could you log in? Do you have questions? Can we set you up with a professor? We have professors who have office hours that will answer questions for you. But we also have a graduate services department that will help you at the end. Nobody gets a job for you, but at the end of the day, they will evaluate your resume. And it's sometimes good to have that second set of eyes of somebody who doesn't know you, because that person will be extremely objective the way an employer would be and look at your resume and say, hey, you know what, maybe you could position yourself differently, especially when you're doing something like a career transition. So has anyone here had that experience of having somebody you don't know look at your resume?
Yeah.
How was that?
Eye-opening. So, you know, sometimes you think that it's the best thing you could do, and then you realize that, oh, if I make these changes, I'd be more marketable.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little intense having somebody you don't know look at your resume, because they say things to you that you really thought you were putting yourself out there as this, but it didn't come across that way. So it's always important when you have somebody looking at that resume to not take it personally, and remember, they're here to try and help you. Something else that I want to point out that this program will offer you is an industry exam voucher. So the Medical Coding and Billing program is recognized and endorsed by AHIMA, which is a major accrediting body. And AHIMA will actually look to these standards on the exam to make sure that you are prepared. So in this program, you will have 3 opportunities at the end of it to take the final exam. And when you take the final exam and pass it with an 85%, we will actually go through and give you, as part of the tuition cost, that voucher to take the exam, which I think it's about $300–400 value, which is good. A lot of other medical coding and billing programs don't offer that. Something not on here that's new that you will want to take advantage of is we offer an AHIMA membership, so that professional organization to go and network. So maybe you start in the program and you start learning about the industry. When you go to these meetings, what that will allow you to do is you can actually go through and meet people in the field. You can start learning about hot topics in the field, and you start building a network into the job. So maybe you're going to find out, you know, who are the employers who treat their employees really well? Who are the employers that have better benefits? You know, those are important things as you look to a career to find out, and you can actually go through that year long and build those relationships to where you have a better footing to get a position after you get your certificate. So, does anyone here know what a medical coder and biller does?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so here's the no-brainer question. Has anyone here ever been to the doctor's office? Or been in the hospital?
Yes.
When you walk out, do you get that little slip of paper that's got all those little checks in there?
Yes.
So a medical coder and biller is someone who actually takes down whatever was done to you, for you, with you, and makes it relevant to the insurance company so that you get charged the right amount. And that's what a medical coder and biller does. There's 2 types of medical coders and billers. There's inpatient and outpatient, and you can choose whatever that is that you want to do. If you decide that you like that hospital atmosphere and working in that environment, it's a little bit more detailed because you're going to have all, think about staying in the hospital. You know, you've got an IV, you've got, all the injections they're going to give you. You've got medications and procedures and everything that goes into that. If you've ever been in the hospital, you think about that list that's like this big of everything. That's what a medical biller and coder would do, is keep track of that. But think about this now. Think about how many people go to the doctor or go in the hospital every day. It's huge. So it's a career that's not going away. It's very high demand. Oops, sorry. The program itself is set up like this. It's 2-part. The first part of what you're going to be doing is your core curriculum. There's going to be, a very first bit that's going to be an online orientation to this is how to find your way around, this is where the student support services are, and then you're going to go through medical terminology and anatomy and physiology so you understand how and what to bill and what to code. The second piece of it is going to be the practicum. And that's where you're actually going to go in and start working with student records, patient records. You're going to go through and start looking at what was done. You'll start coding and billing. Do you think you have to know everything about every code?
I would think sure you could look it up.
Yeah, exactly. So the answer is yes and yes. The most important thing that we're going to teach you is how to find the information. It would be impossible to know every code off the top of your head, but with practice and repetition, you will start to know those things with more time in the career. So that's the second half. Something that's really important to know about this program is that you could do, especially this first half, off your mobile phone. So you're sitting, you're waiting, in an office for an appointment, you're waiting for a bus. You can actually do some of the curriculum on your phone. Anytime you have the most recent internet browser, you're going to be able to do this. So do you have to have a laptop? No. But when you get to this practicum piece, that's where a laptop is going to be nice. And a laptop's actually included in the cost of your program. So everything you're going to need to do this program is included in there, right on down to those vouchers and those professional membership organizations to help you network and find out more about the industry. Through the whole program, student support services are there. There is a technical support piece for you where you will have somebody, if your computer is acting up, they can remote in and help you fix that. On down to if you needed an academic professor with office hours to say, hey, I'm not really sure about what this means. I don't know if this chapter is, is going to be easy for me or hard for me. What should I focus on? Those are the types of support services we have in place for you. I'll go through and do actually a little demo of what the site looks like because it's really easy to navigate. It's very clean. But there are tools in there that support you that will help you figure out, how long am I going to study? If I put in 3 hours a day, when could I expect to finish this exam? So great tools in there. There are tests and quizzes in each part of it. They're created by national certifications and industry employment. So really, it's based on real life. There's activities. There are exercises for you to do that will help simulate what that is, and then there's actually working with the real patient records. Some of the other support services that are in there, maybe you've come home from work and you work a late shift and you want to do some more work. You get to a point where you don't know what's happening or how to, you've got a question. There's a whole chat area where you can chat with other students in a community, and in that chat, you can go through and actually look to see and search it to see if somebody else has had the same question, so you can answer your own question and keep moving forward, which is great. Those blogs are sometimes really valuable. They also give you feeling a sense of community because, in online programs, you think about if this is right for you. It's not like going to school every day and having that socialization. So sometimes those blogs and chat rooms can serve as a community for you so you don't feel as isolated. Graduate services we talked about. We'll go through and look at your resume, help you build that. That's why it's important to take advantage of the professional organization to network through there because it will give you a stronger footing. And something I like to point out is that in addition to that resume building, interviewing, coaching, 90% of honors and high honors graduates have positions within 60 days. So very strong. When you go through and actually take that final exam, you have 3 times to take that exam. Take it all 3 times because the employers who we work with, they come and look at who passed with the highest exam rate. And you can take it 3 times and it doesn't hurt you. So maybe you got an 85% the first time. Keep taking it till you get that 98% or that 96% so that you will be in the top tier and snapped up first for a job and career. So specifically within medical coding and billing, kind of already touched on what does this look like, what kind of career is it, what would I be doing, why would I want to do this anyway? It's a job that's not going away. It's a job that is constantly changing. Every day is different. You're still going to be putting those codes in, but it's interesting because you're actually looking at those different fields and figuring out what was done for this person. So there's that little kind of investigative piece of it that's interesting. Our training, as I mentioned, is a HEMA approved program, and it prepares you to actually go through, you're going to have some of this Does anyone know what ICD-9 or ICD-10 is? Have you heard of that before? What is that?
The billing code.
Yeah, it's the billing code. You're right. But do you know what happened here between ICD-9 and 10?
Made it more precise. ICD-9 was very broad, ICD-10 is exact.
Exactly, right. So when this changed a couple of years ago from ICD-9 to ICD-10, coders had to go through and get retrained again. And you would get some background in ICD-9, but you'll also be well-versed in ICD-10 to go through and have that expertise so that you can walk into the job and know exactly what you were doing. The program stats, the timeline for training, it says 4 to 12 months. You know, when you really think about your work and your life balance, what do you do every week? Do you have a family? Tell me about your life.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a single mom.
Okay.
So I do have children.
Okay.
That I obviously take care of. I work full time, and I volunteer on the weekends.
Right. So when you think about an online self-paced program, this would probably give you the flexibility with all those things you're juggling. You know, but you also have to think about, could I do this in 4 months? That would probably be studying 40 hours a week. You've already got a full-time job. So I like people, when they think about this program, to really think about what's realistic for me. And what's probably more realistic is you're going to put 10 or 15 hours a week in. Maybe 20 hours. It's like a part-time job. You know, it's a new career you want to get into. Sometimes a bad job is the best thing for you to help you decide, I'm really dedicated to getting into this new career. And putting that training time in, realistically, you could probably expect to get into this, to get through this program in 8 months. 8 months is probably with that balance that you've got, maybe 9 months. Don't push it the full 12 months. You know, take some time to study at the end so you can prepare for that exam, so that you can go through and figure out, you know, okay, I got the 85% this time, I'm going to study a little bit harder. Great thing about this program is you can actually go through and take chapters over and over again, so that if you didn't learn the content the first time, you can go back and study it again so that you can master every unit. Something else I want to mention is there's a little bit that we prepare you in terms of understanding the computer, you know, how to navigate your computer. Most of us are pretty computer literate these days, especially if you're watching this, if you're one of the people on Facebook Live. It's kind of a no-brainer that you're computer literate, but you can save some time too. Maybe you're already working in a different medical career and you already have anatomy and physiology knowledge. You can go through and take that final exam for that chapter and proficiency out of it and save some time. So, you know, maybe you're one of those people and that will shave some of the time off of that 4 to 12 months. So it's not necessarily going to be a 12-month program. You know, what happens if life gets in the way? You know, say you get sick and you're sick for a month. You need extra time. You can actually get an extension. You can purchase an extension for 1 month to 4 months to get you a little bit more time. But it's really important to think about if you can commit to 8 months to 12 months studying regularly to get this new career. This is probably not a format that's for everyone, but it is a format for people who are dedicated and want this new career and want to put the work and the time in, because you know that the payout at the end is going to be worth it. And I say that because the graduate certification rate, 82%, pass rate is 86%. That's how well we'll prepare you for the exam. And in that job market, that 22% employment growth. Okay, 22% employment growth. That's huge. So you could expect over 37,000 new jobs by 2022. Pretty good. Tuition for the course, I should mention, is $34.95. And as I mentioned before, it includes just about everything you're going to need. It's going to be your exam voucher for a CCA or a CPC exam. That's your difference between, you know, inpatient, outpatient. You've got 24/7 access to the curriculum. You get free ebooks. If you're somebody who still likes that paper, just talk to us. we will send you a paper copy, but it's basically all the online content just printed out in a book. So anyone, I see I'm one of those people, I still have to have a piece of paper.
Same here.
It's like a security blanket.
Right, exactly. And you can write in them, right? So it's your book, you can take notes. And
Exactly, exactly. So, and then you also get your instructor one-on-one support and graduate support. Anybody questions about this program? Yes.
What exactly does AHEMA mean? What is those acronyms?
Yeah, AHEMA is an acronym, and it is the. You just asked me when I don't know. So it's actually. Can you look up AHEMA? Sorry, I'm horrible at acronyms, but it's a medical coding and billing professional organization.
Okay. Okay.
They are like the standard for if you want to do medical coding and billing. Did you find it?
It's getting there.
Yeah, I'm horrible at acronyms. I apologize.
That's okay. And I've noticed you said the tuition is $3,495, and you mentioned earlier that it includes a laptop.
Yes.
That's included in the
laptop,
tuition.
or if you prefer a Kindle, whatever you want. I'd recommend going with the laptop just because when you start doing that actual practicum piece, you're going to want that.
The American Health Information Management Association.
Thank you. Yeah, I did know that. I just not good on camera.
And do you have to return the laptop when you're done?
Nope, it's yours.
Oh.
It is yours to keep. But don't get the program just because it's an expensive
I
laptop.
can't really do it. I have no time, but I know a couple of people who might be interested in doing so.
Good. All right, fantastic. How about you? Any questions in back? Are you okay? Nope.
I'm fine right here.
Okay, good.
Hey.
All right, so am I going to be able to afford this? How am I going to be able to afford this? This is not a full degree program. It is certification with the goal of getting you into a new career. It's still a lot of money, so think seriously about, how am I going to afford it if I want to do this? You can break it into a 3-month payment plan with no interest, or we have payment plans that are available for 12 months or 18 months, and I think the interest rate on that is 8%. So think about that. I think there's also another payment plan that's available through CTI, so that's something that's going to pay out dividends to you in the future if you do choose to go through that. Sometimes in some situations people have been injured and they have money for retraining for their career. That may be some of our students that come to us too. There are also people who come to us as military spouses from ICAA who do retraining through Career Step, and that's it's an Army wife quote down there that you could actually think about doing that. So, any questions on payment plans or how to create this?
Or what happens after the 12 months if you cannot pay it back?
I think that's between you and whoever
And the creditor.
lends, the
Yeah,
creditor.
okay.
So, yeah, that's not us. That's just completely between you two.
Okay.
So,
Since I got here a little late, I apologize. My name is Darren.
hi, Darren. Welcome.
Did you specify what the cost was, or have you gone over that as of yet?
Yes, the cost of the program is $34.95, and it's going to include everything: your e-books, the laptop. It's going to include an exam voucher. And remember, you only get that exam voucher when you've passed ARG's final exam with that 85%. It's just not automatically given to you. And the reason we do that is we want to have a quality assurance that we maintain a standard. When people come looking for our graduates, they know that they're going to know the material inside out and be a good employee and a good fit. Yes?
So let me just make sure I'm understanding this. So you have to pass the course with an 85 or higher to receive the voucher.
Correct.
But could you still take the exam, the final or the national exam without
You could still,
passing the 85? With
yeah,
85?
you would not receive a voucher.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and that's $300 or $400.
To take the national exam.
Right, and that's one thing that sets our program apart is that we have that voucher for the exam included.
Okay.
So it's a good value.
Yeah,
And that
that's
professional HEMA membership too is great value too.
Okay.
So, yes, Karen.
So I hear the if or the but in that if you pass with an 85.
When you pass with an
Okay,
85.
so that sounds a little more positive.
Yep.
What would prevent somebody from not, perhaps, aside from stepping away from the program or maybe lengthening the program, what would prevent somebody from not actually making that 85 percentile?
You know, that's a good question. You know, the great thing about this online self-paced program, where you may have been in a traditional classroom setting like most of us most of your life, you know, if it goes by and they keep moving, you're lost. And because the content in the curriculum builds and builds and builds, in this program, if you don't get it at the end of the chapter exam, you just go through and do it again. You know, what's really important is that you just get it, you know, like most things in life. And when you study in a self-paced program, you can keep studying it again and again until you get it. You can call that professor and ask for help if you're not getting it. So, not to be rhetorical, but I think the only thing that would really stop somebody from getting it would be themselves. And that's a persistence, that's a perseverance, and it's a desire. You know, it's skill and will. How was
So
that?
just like everything else in life.
Just like everything else in life. Right. Yeah, sorry. You are the master of your destiny.
Correct.
Does it cost extra to do a chapter over?
No.
No, because it's self-paced, you just go ahead.
It's self-paced, so everything's included in there. You know, just go through, and that's really it. You know, at the end of the day, we just want you to get it. You know, and you should too. And you know, if you take that chapter exam and you pass with an 85%, you can go through again and take the chapter exam until you get it at 100%. You know, knowing that it's a building block. If you go to the next chapter, you pass with the 85%, you go on to the next chapter, and then you figure out, ooh, yeah, I missed some stuff. Just go back, do it again. You know, it's super forgiving, and that's really a great thing about that people don't think about online studying and self-paced studying.
So I'm not going to question and probably get into the details of as we move a little bit forward, but I'm seeing this as more of a kind of a data-driven, and what I mean data entry-driven type of industry, where you're dealing with a lot of, as it says, IDC9 codes, that type of thing.
So it is going to be, you're right, this is going to be more like figuring out the data and the coding, so you're not really working with patients necessarily directly. Which, you know, if you're somebody who wants to be in the healthcare industry, but like me, I get squeamish around needles, it's probably a good fit. Those are great questions. Any other questions?
So what's the difference between the IDC 9 versus the 10? I know that's the 10 is the latest, but what would you say is the major difference?
For the gentleman who came in late in the back.
That would be me.
It's our star pupil up front, Lorenzo, was talking about how it's really more detailed. That's two demerits for being late. Any other good questions now that I shut you up? All right, great. So we went through payment plans. And this is the spot where I can actually go through and do a program demo. Do we have online available?
Yes, it is on. It's available. If you want to, on the laptop, go ahead and just move on the mouse pad. You'll see and then just click anywhere. It should take you directly to the.
Okay. So I'm going to sit down for that.
Go ahead.
Where do you find out that?
Right there.
Okay.
Just click it. It'll take you straight. I've taken the liberty of saving everything, so you should just be log in and go.
Okay, great. So when you log in, it's very easy.
So this is an actual classroom we're logging into, or the course?
This is what the course looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. So yours won't look like this. This is mine because I have every program in there, but let's just go through and look at what this medical coding and billing looks like here. So you'll see like your icon, and this is what it looks like. It's very clean, it's very easy to navigate. Anything you're going to want is over here on the sides, your student messages, your system requirements, login history, system user, so you can go through there. But it's nice, it's easy. You're going to have access to your grade book over here. I mentioned that tool before, all the tools we build in here, your study planner. Is this not?
The other side.
There we go. So remember we were talking about, you know, how much time could you really devote, you know, you're a single mom, you're working full time. You get sick, you want to figure out what it is. You can go through and actually say, I'm going to study 15 hours a week. And this can be something to help motivate you too, so that, you know, as you think about, oh, wow, I could actually be done by, you know, by Labor Day. You know, I could have my new career by Labor Day. You know, and that's sometimes something to keep you going. It's like, man, my job's really miserable. I could be done by, you know? And you're like, my job's so bad, I'm going to start spending 20 hours a week in there. Okay. You know, a date you want to be finished by and go through whatever that date's going to be. So let's say you want to be done by, so I don't know your laptop pretty well. No. All right, so I'm not going to mess with the date there. You can actually go through and say what date you want to be done by. And then
you
it'll
just on the side if you click on the calendar.
Yeah. There you go. So you could go through and all right, say you're going to be done by the 25th there of 2020. So you did give yourself about a year. And then it's going to break down what your percentage should be, how many hours you would have to spend on each chapter so that you can really, your completion date for that, so you can go through and look at what's necessary to keep you moving. Which, that's another reason I recommend that students don't plan on taking a full 12 months. Plan on trying to do it in 8 months, because things will happen. You'll have setbacks. You know, life just has a way of getting in the way of things. And when you leave yourself kind of that buffer of 4 months, it's a little bit more realistic. Right. So. So that's a super motivational tool. And then, as I mentioned before, student support, and because this platform is actually for me, it's not for you, this is where you would have all kinds of articles, and you would have resources there for student support. You can reach out to your student advocate, go through their technical support. You can reach somebody, they can remote into your computer, help you if something is not working well. Student forum is where you can blog with other students. You can go through and find answers to questions, like I mentioned earlier. Maybe it's the middle of the night and you have a question about something, and you can see somebody else probably had that question before too. So really easy. Publications you may want to know about in terms of the latest and greatest research in your field. And it's easy. And this is where you go through your grade books up here. You can see what you've done. It'll tell you how many days you have left in your program. And there's your content for your program. So that's what it looks like.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On your technical support portal, is that a 24-hour period, or is that certain times a day? What I mean by that is I could be working late at night, something happens to my computer.
Right.
In the event that I need something, will that technical support be there instantaneously? Will I have to wait 24-hour period?
Depends when you log in. So I know technical support is usually there 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So you would have to, if you were in the middle of the night, unless you found it in one of the student blogs, you know, for somebody else had the same problem. So, but they're very good about getting back with you quickly.
I have a question.
Yes.
How safe is the remote login? Because let's say I have a laptop, and although it is my school laptop and that's my primary use, let's say I also use it for banking. And if someone is remote logging on, what are they limited to, or do they get full access to your laptop as well, or?
Yeah, you're going to stay within, you know, it's limited by your browser. And I would just say for your bank has a number of encryption things built in there. I think you're going to be pretty safe.
Okay.
So just so you know that. This is what your actual course is going to look like when you log in. It's going to start out always giving you your objectives. It's very clean and easy. And these are what you're going to be doing, what you could expect in terms of chapters and going through. So pretty straightforward, right? So does this look like something you could do?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Darren?
does.
Oh, absolutely.
John?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, teacher.
We're expecting a star performance from you.
And okay, in the tuition, I'm back to that, 3,495. Do you have military discounts or like?
So we do not have military discounts, and a lot of people will say, "Hey, can you discount our program for us?" And I'll tell you why we don't discount our program. Our program it's a career-changing event. It's got all the extra memberships and certification vouchers in there. And if we started discounting the program for one school versus another, sometimes people will go to that other school, and that's not fair to you because wherever you sign up, you can get support there too. So it gives you cheat yourself out of an outlet or another resource for something a place that could help you. So our programs are the same across the country, same price. Yes.
I wasn't sure if you did mention this, but did you say you can test out of a certain section?
Yes.
So let's say you're a medical assistant and you have some billing, or even a phlebotomist, you may have some ICD-9 knowledge. So you can test out of certain sections based off of previous knowledge.
Exactly. Which is great because you can save some time. So one of my current students is a nurse who got injured in a horse riding accident, and she is now paralyzed from the waist down, and she cannot go to the hospital anymore. And one of the things that she's doing is she decided, hey, this is a program that I could do remotely. This is something I can work and still support myself. So she's going to her training through this, and because she's a nurse, she's got all this knowledge in terms of anatomy, physiology, and so she's shaved off a substantial amount of time in the course to get a credential to do the coding and billing now. And it can be the same for you. As you look at through, it's like program navigation. All right, you might want to do that one. Training success module exam, computer fundamentals. That's probably something most people know. But I'll tell you, when I went and looked at it, I didn't know the stuff down here was called a system tray. There's stuff we use every day that you might not be familiar with, the terminology or the verbiage of, oh, okay, well, now I'll never forget that because I felt really dumb. I thought, yeah, I could test out of that. So just be aware of that. You do have an opportunity to get through the course faster.
So do you go directly to, do you go directly to that particular course and then just take the test? Usually at universities they allow you, I think the terminology is called CLEP. They CLEP out of a class. Is that the same concept?
So the way this is, sort of, kind of.
Okay.
Definite maybe. So the way this is set up is it's all built on each other. So you could not go to the end, like you couldn't jump around. You're going to have to go, unit by unit and, test out of the program navigation, unit first, and then computer fundamentals, test out of that next, and then go through the next, so yeah. But if you want to sometimes people like to do that. Sometimes people like to start by taking the final exam first to get a flavor of what it's going to be and be like, well, I'm pretty clueless on that, or yeah, I got that. They got the whole thing. So, sometimes taking the final exam to start out with. Did you ever have teachers in high school who did that for you? It's very humbling. So great questions. What else?
So, did we talk about, as the late went in the room, so this may have already been addressed, but did you talk about age appropriate? In other words, age or gender? Did we talk about how appropriate this might be for a younger person, older person, or male or female?
It's appropriate for anyone who has the dedication and the desire to change their career. It's not necessarily a male versus female career. Like a lot of people think nurses are women, and that's not true anymore. Nurses are men and women. Same thing.
I can see how this could be very appealing for a young person right out of high school, 18 years of age, not really having any direction, not really knowing what they want to do, and taking a serious look at committing themselves for 9 to 12 months, learning a very progressively growing industry such as this, and by the time they're 19 and a half or 20, they're making very good money with a stable career, you know, a program such as this. Like you said, it's a wonderful opportunity. And then on the flip side of that, someone who's already had a working career, but they're not really ready to just stop doing anything. Here's another avenue where you can actually generate very good income in a continuously progressive growing industry. So I can see it's good on both ends, male and female, young and old.
Right, exactly. You know, medical coding and billing, there are some jobs that are available to work remotely, but generally speaking, they're going to want you to be at the doctor's office or at the hospital or facility or the insurance company. They're going to want you to be on site, but there are some available that could work remotely. But yeah, for whatever you need. You know, traditional education is not for everybody, and I think this country and, you know, a couple generations before us had this idea that you have to go to a traditional program if you're going to be successful in life, and that's just really not true anymore. Online learning has really changed that, and I think what we're seeing now with the way the internet and computers have changed things, and knowing, you know, I used to be a high school teacher, there are so many different learning styles, you know, that it's important to do what's right for you. You know, and the most you know yourself, the better you know yourself, the more successful you're going to be. You know, are you somebody who's naturally curious? Are you somebody who doesn't like to be held back by a traditional classroom where you got to wait for everybody else to get the answer, you know, and you're thumping your fingers on the desk? You know, you can go through this as quickly as you want. You know, people who want the knowledge, who want to get into a new career, who want to be able to support themselves so they can do new things, this is a fantastic option for you. Or if you want supplemental income, this is a great option for you. Yes.
And you may have addressed this already, and I just forgot, but did we mention what the requirements are to enroll in this school?
That's a fantastic question. So because of our AHIMA recognition and endorsement, you do need to have a high school diploma or a GED. Okay, so that is just absolutely a must. But other than that, you're good to go.